This video is not going to make you the next Jordan Belfort or even a sales expert. So why should you watch it? Well, because most of you are just starting out in sales or are considering it. And the great thing is, you don't need to be the next Wolf of Wall Street to become a great salesman or saleswoman. With a few fundamental mindset tweaks towards selling, I promise you that your sales will drastically improve and that your commission will rise. Look, the only way that doesn't happen for you today is if you do not take my tips on board. So what are we waiting for? Let's get into my 5 tips on how you, a beginner salesperson, can improve your sales drastically and earn that sweet commission. Right, my experience. So when I moved to Sydney, Australia, I knew I wanted to go into sales. Because if you're looking to go into business, the 2 quickest paths you can take to rise through the ranks and earn the most money are either finance or sales. And I'd much rather spend my time interacting with people all day rather than numbers. I don't know about you, but numbers bore the fuck out of me. So I got a commission-only job for direct face-to-face selling for the sales firm Collins Group, and our client was HelloFresh. Now, some of you may be wondering what HelloFresh is. This is the meal subscription service. So essentially, my job was to go into big Westfield shopping centres, they're massive in Australia, those are the main shopping centres, and set up a HelloFresh stand in the middle of the shopping centres and try and engage and essentially get new people, complete strangers I've never talked to before, to come over to the booth and sell to them. So yeah, it was pretty tough considering that most people who are going into Westfield or going to their weekly grocery shops, they don't want to talk to someone they don't know, especially someone who's trying to get their attention by putting their hand up. So yeah, it was a pretty brutal job, and especially a first sales role. It was tough. My boss would later go on to tell me that they tend to fire new recruits within 2 days if they couldn't make a sale. And did I mention it was commission only? If I did not sell, I did not eat. I've used that in way too many job interviews. So many I've lost count. It's a good line though, so take it, use it in the future. Now, how exactly did I go on to break the rookie sales numbers for HelloFresh in the whole of Australia? Was it my charming British accent? Probably, and that's definitely my first tip. You should definitely leverage your accent if you're abroad. People love a British accent, to be fair, except if you're, if it's something like a Brummie accent, then maybe just smile and wave and try and keep the talking to a minimum. Right, so now let's get into the 5 tips on how you, a rookie salesperson who's just starting their sales journey, can improve your commission and increase your sales numbers. Tip number 1, start selling. What are you waiting for? The only way you can improve in sales is by going out and start selling. You need to learn what works. And you need to take advantage of every opportunity that comes your way. And yes, selling is an opportunity, not something to be deathly afraid of. You've got to learn to fail and improve. Now, you've chosen sales because of one of 2 reasons. 1, you're either a people person, or 2, you're highly money motivated. Well, now's your chance to socialize with people and have a lovely chat, you sociable Sally you. And if you are money motivated, you've got to actually engage with people and talk to them to earn all that money you desperately desire. Tip 2, remove the word from your vocabulary. No surprise here, confidence is really important when you're trying to sell to people. When I started out at HelloFresh, the amount of beginners that would use and when they were trying to sell to potential clients was shocking. And let's just say, it's no surprise that they didn't last very long. This hesitancy can disrupt the flow of conversation, which is so important in face-to-face sales because it creates engagement with the consumer and also builds trust, which will help you sell more down the line. Now, this ties in with my next tip number 3, that knowledge breeds confidence. If you are knowledgeable about your product, and I mean truly knowledgeable about your product, you know it inside and out, every detail, every aspect, you can answer any question on it, then you are going to sell more. You will come across effortlessly confident, and heck, the words and won't even be a part of your vocabulary. Consider this. If you were going into surgery, how would you like your doctor to explain the procedure? Example number 1. Okay, so we're gonna make an incision, a small incision, roughly 9 to 5 centimeters in your labrum, and then what we will do after that, we will, we will get the suture and we will tie that to the muscles in order to close and tighten your labrum. No lie, this is actually how people sound sometimes when they are selling. And it's okay, you're nervous, but if you know the product, you are gonna sound so much more confident. And remember guys, it's a conversation you're having with a human being. Or this, example number 2. Hello, so what we're going to do for you today is we're going to make 2 minute incisions, roughly around 5 centimeters length, in the front and back of your torn labrum, so you don't have to worry about any ugly and large scarring. After this, we're going to use a suture to tie the torn labrum snugly against the bone in order to avoid potentially tearing it in the future. How does that sound? Come on, it's a no-brainer which doctor you would rather perform surgery on you. Tip number 4, people sell to people, so take advantage of this. Now what I mean by this is that humans are creatures that act on emotion and more importantly buy on emotion. So what I need you to do is I need you to paint a picture for them and articulate how having this product would make them feel. It's okay to list some of the key features of the product, but if you're going to go ahead and just list all the features of the product, well, what's the point of you being there? The buyer may as well be reading the description box on the website and make the purchase online. People buy with emotion and then justify it with logic. So play on that emotion by listing a key feature and then explain to the potential buyer how that would make them feel if it was in their life and how it would improve their life. So for example, when I was selling HelloFresh to a parent with young kids, I would remind them that HelloFresh is directly delivered to their door, which saves them a lot of time in comparison to if they'd have to go to the supermarket to do their weekly shop. They may have to get a sitter, they may have to bring their kids, and it would buy up a lot of their time. And I would paint a picture for them of how using HelloFresh would save them all this time and how that would improve their life and how they could, you know, for example, cook the HelloFresh together or just hang out with the kids if they like hanging out with kids. I mean, I'd rather put them with a sitter, but whatever. But that's neither here nor there. Now, just imagine the positive emotions that I'm conjuring up for the buyer and making her more likely to buy from me. Lastly, tip number 5, when selling, less is more. Now, when you're selling, it's really important that once you've garnered the client's interest and got them talking, let them do the talking. Don't interrupt them. This is your chance to find out what they like about the product, what sort of issues the product could solve for them, and how it would make them feel. You just want to gently nudge them with the right probing questions to get them to subtly tell you why they need this product, and then you finish it off in the close when you tell them all the reasons why it's going to improve their life. It's that simple. This is the part of the selling process where so many newbies fail or mess up because they overthink and thus overtalk. When selling, less is more. Alright guys, that's the video. I hope it was of some use for you, and if you enjoyed it, then please gently tap that like and subscribe button, gently now, because it really does help the channel to grow. And if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more sales related content, then let me know in the comments down below. And if you know of any other tips to help people to sell, then please do feel free to share them in the comments below. I am by no means a sales guru. These are just the sort of tips and tricks that I use when selling out in Australia to help me have some sort of success. Hopefully the tips included in this video will make the start of your sales journey seem less daunting. And remember, selling is an opportunity, not something to be afraid of. What's the worst that can happen? Peace.